The earlier technique that we discussed for risk analysis, which is sensitivity analysis, it is one of the most popular technique for risk analysis, and let me tell you, it is widely used. You go with a project report to a bank and you want, let's say you want to arrange a loan, the bank officials will definitely carry out sensitivity analysis. Bank officials will definitely like to know whether this project is acceptable if certain variables are changing. But one of the biggest limitation of sensitivity analysis is it considers only one factor at a time. So only one variable will change, the other variables will remain constant. This is possible only if the variables are all independent of each other, but we know that in real life it is not so. In real life, all the factors are interdependent. So yes, we need to now find out whether there are any other techniques for risk analysis. The one that comes to our mind is a scenario analysis. Now, what do we do in scenario analysis? Okay, we ask ourselves that if all the things turn out to be positive for us, then what will be the outcome? We build a scenario. You can call this as, when you build a scenario, you can call this as the best case scenario. Best case scenario. Or you can even say this to be an optimistic scenario. Okay, you may even call this as an optimistic scenario. If everything goes in our favor, we go ahead with the project, everything is going in our favor, then what will be the net present value? Or what will be our cash flow? So we are building one scenario. Everything is good for us, then what will happen? Then we do opposite of it. What if all the factors go against us? Then what will happen? So we are building what we will call as a worst case scenario. A worst case scenario. You can even call this as a pessimistic scenario, right? The number of units that we are planning to sell, let us say we are not able to achieve it. The selling price, we are not able to achieve it. The variable cost is shooting up. So the number of years that we can do this project, that is reducing. We consider everything going against us, and then we want to know what will be the outcome of the project. So we are building one more scenario. You can observe here, this is opposite of sensitivity analysis. In sensitivity analysis, only one factor at a time. But when I build a best case scenario, I am saying everything is in my favor. Then what will happen? When I build a worst case scenario, everything goes against me. Then what will happen? Right? And of course, the reality will be somewhere in between. Right? That somewhere in between, we will consider that as the most likely scenario. Okay, a most likely scenario. If possible, you can even calculate or even try to project the probabilities of the occurrence of each of these scenarios. Otherwise, a simple scenario analysis will be also sufficient. And there is a lot more that we can do over here. A lot more. I can take certain figures of best case, certain figures of most likely, and certain figures of worst case, and then find out what will be my NPV. So I can basically play with a lot many situations over here. And on the basis of that, work out the net present value. And once I am satisfied, then I may go for my final decision. If you see a little bit of write up on the scenario analysis, here it is. Understand, sensitivity analysis is probably the most widely used risk analysis technique. That's what I said earlier. But the problem over here is that we can only consider one variable at a time. So that is the problem. So what if I change more than one variable at a time? Then that is what is giving rise to a scenario analysis. So basically what happens is Scenario analysis will provide answer to these situations or extensions, right? It will bring about changes in the key variables and will also allow us to change more than one variable at a time. Then you can build a base case or a most likely scenario, right? You can also build, as I said in the earlier case, a best case scenario, as well as you can build a worst case scenario. And on the basis of that, you can finally take your decision.